Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we re-diving deep into a fault code that can really throw a wrench in your day. SPN 111 FMI 1. Now, if you're operating heavy machinery, you've probably seen your fair share of dashboard lights. But this one is crucial. It's telling you that your engine coolant level is low. Ignoring it isn't an option, as it could lead to serious engine overheating and catastrophic damage. So, let's break down what this code means, what causes it, and how you can fix it like a pro. First things first, what exactly is SPN 111 FMI1? SPN stands for Suspect Parameter Number, and 111 is the specific identifier for engine coolant level. FMI stands for Failure Mode Identifier, and the value of 1 means data valid but below normal operating range. Most severe level. Putting it all together, the engine's control module, or ECM, is receiving a valid signal from the coolant level sensor, but that signal indicates the coolant is critically low. This isn't a sensor glitch. The system is confirming you have a real problem. So, why is your coolant level dropping? The most obvious and common reason is a leak. Heavy equipment operates in tough environments, and vibrations, impacts, and general wear and tear can take a toll on the cooling system. You could have a leak in a hose, the radiator, the water pump, the thermostat housing, or even the heater core. Hoses can become brittle and crack. Clamps can loosen over time, and the radiator can get punctured by debris. Another potential culprit is a failing head gasket. This is a more serious issue. A blown head gasket can allow coolant to leak into the engine's combustion chambers or mix with the engine oil. If you see white smoke coming from your exhaust that smells sweet, that's a classic sign of coolant being burned. Or, if you check your oil dipstick and the oil looks milky, or like a chocolate milkshake, you've got coolant mixing with your oil. Both of these situations require immediate attention from a qualified mechanic. Sometimes, the issue isn't a leak at all, but rather improper filling or air trapped in the system. If the cooling system was recently serviced and not bled correctly, air pockets can form. These air pockets can cause the coolant level to appear low at the sensor, triggering the fault code even if there's enough coolant in the system overall. Over time, this air can also lead to overheating issues. Alright, let's get to the good part. How do you troubleshoot and fix this? Your first step is always safety. Make sure the engine is completely cool before you open the radiator or expansion tank cap. A hot cooling system is under pressure, and opening it can cause scalding hot coolant to spray out. Once it's cool, perform a visual inspection. Pop the hood and get a good flashlight. Start by checking the coolant level in the overflow reservoir or expansion tank. If it's low, that confirms the code. Now, start hunting for the leak. Look for obvious signs like puddles of coolant under the machine, wet spots on the engine or radiator, or white or green crusty residue around hose connections, the water pump, or the radiator fins. Follow the path of all the coolant hoses from the radiator to the engine and back. Squeezy hoses, they should feel firm, not mushy or brittle. If you can't find an obvious external leak, the next step is to use a cooling system pressure tester. This tool hooks up to your radiator or expansion tank and allows you to pump air into the system, pressurizing it to its normal operating pressure. With the system under pressure, even a small leak will become much easier to spot. You might see a drip, or you might even hear a hissing sound. This is the most effective way to find those sneaky, hard-to-see leaks. If the pressure test shows the system holds pressure just fine, and you've ruled out external leaks, you need to consider those more serious internal issues. Check your oil for that milky appearance, and look for that sweet-smelling white exhaust smoke. If you suspect a head gasket failure, a cylinder leak-down test or a chemical block test can confirm the presence of combustion gases in your coolant. After you've found and repaired the leak, whether it was a simple hose replacement or a more complex repair, you need to refill the system correctly. Use the manufacturer-recommended coolant type and follow the proper bleeding procedure to remove all the air from the system. This usually involves running the engine with the heater on high and the radiator cap loose, or by using a specific bleeder valve. Once everything is refilled and bled, clear the fault code with your diagnostic tool and take the machine for a test run. Keep a close eye on your temperature gauge and check for any returning leaks. A successful repair means the code doesn't come back and your engine temperature stays right in the normal operating range. And that's a wrap on SPN 111 FM. It might seem intimidating, but with a systematic approach, you can diagnose and fix the root cause, keeping your heavy equipment running strong and avoiding costly downtime. Thanks for watching. And if you found this guide helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and drop any questions you have in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.